What's good, Chad? It's your boy Dukendon back at it with another roast session. Okay, Chad. So it looks like the No Jumper versus Dejon Paul rumor mill has officially become the biggest conundrum within the No Jumper podcast universe. So as you guys know, there's been massive allegations circulating the No Jumper podcast, all right, alleging that Dejon Paul was shot by an unlicensed security guard while on set. I mean, think about it. If all of this ends up being true, Adam could quite possibly be facing some serious legal problems. And come on, an unlicensed security guard? Are you serious, Adam? With all that money you got, that's like using a paper towel as a raincoat. One splash and your whole entire operation is soaked. Now, for a while, no one really knew what was going on. No one really knew what was happening. I mean, one minute Dejon Paul was doing a podcast, and the next minute he was disappeared for months. For a while, people speculated that maybe Dejon Paul may have gotten fired. After all, there was some tension behind the scenes between him and Adam, so it made sense that, you know, after the show, Adam probably had enough and fired him. All that was thrown out the window when the real rumor began, with fans speculating that Dejon Paul's unexpected leave of absence was actually due to the fact that he was shot while on set at the No Jumper podcast.
See Dejon coming in here wobbling, you know what I'm saying, on that one leg again. He's ever going to come back and try to work for you.
Why would he be on one leg? Did something happen?
Office hours.
He tripped.
Hashtag office hours.
I don't think anyone thinks that happened to him, right? I've yet to meet someone who.
Everybody in this office is so fucking weird about it.
I was the only one that was here when it happened.
Nigga, nobody was here.
Yeah, that's the strangest part is that, like, I don't fucking know, honestly.
Yeah,
I don't care.
And the way y'all handle it every time is just,
It's hilarious.
Makes it even better, honestly. But hashtag
This
office
is the
hours.
dumbest shit in the world.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard anything like this though?
Megan Thee Stallion? A little bit.
Yes, but at least like she went to the hospital and found something.
And you can see it. That's a picture. That was a picture.
No, who?
It was like a little, you know, like
The cops got called. There's another thing that didn't happen here.
Yeah, there's no police report.
Yeah.
Which is something I said on the pod.
Yeah.
Y'all niggas trying to make it seem like niggas get shot.
And then if Wack is to be believed too, the insurance.
They turned down the workers' comp claim, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Which means they didn't see nothing either that they needed to look into. So
It's irrelevant to talk about it.
yeah, it's
I was there.
But I
In the other room, but
yeah.
if something like that happened,
There's no mystery.
it's not a subtle thing. It's the most in-your-face thing that could ever happen to you.
Right,
We probably see bullet holes somewhere in this motherfucker.
That is something I need to check, actually.
yeah, I was about that's actually crazy.
The fact that I even have to be involved with this is insane.
Then, of course, Adam22 would start to see himself get pressured more on this.
Saying like Dejon got shot at No Jumper, and she said, "The fuck? Like I'm like best friends with his mom or some shit." Like she's like, "That's not true. If that was true, I would have heard about it. If somebody got shot in my office, I feel like I would know about it."
About Adam, you don't want to pay a black man his money because he got shot at No Jumper, yada yada. Which that to me was very concerning because I know what DW knows, and I know that DW, just like every single other person in this office, knows that nobody got shot at No Jumper. So that right there made me think maybe I kind of misjudged you because it really didn't take a lot for you to come on here and start lying. Yeah. And you guys know, and I would not sit here and point at you and say you guys know, but you know that what I'm saying is true and that nobody got shot at No Jumper.
Finally leading to Adam coming out with a big response, basically claiming that the shooting never happened and, you know, Dejon made the whole thing up. He would then go on to give multiple incoherent responses in addition to denying that the shooting never happened, not really addressing the issue, but rather attacking the people who are really asking the questions.
Saw somebody having a little celebration party claiming that I got a lawsuit, which is news to me. But the person who was saying it is a person who has a whole of outstanding lawsuits, plus a lawsuit that they lost in which they owe like $3 million. So I'm kind of confused how this person is celebrating when they're literally bankrupt. And no matter how much money they make on YouTube in any given month, it's just chipping away at the debt that consumed your entire life, and it's all you think about late at night. Can't say who told me, but I don't know. It's just like the last person I would ever think would have anything to say about my financial situation, since their financial situation is...
I don't know about y'all, chat, but Adam22's responses here are just hinting at something deeper going on. Further suspicions of doubt were even casted after Wack 100, you know, the No Jumpers resident pitbull, decided to go on the offensive after being seen on a podcast with AD and T-Drell, basically clowning my dude's sexual orientation, saying things like, oh yeah, he just wanted to take off his pants in front of a room filled with hardened thugs, you know, all due to some kind of gay fetish.
After, you know what I'm saying, you lying about this getting shot at your facility, because he definitely got shot.
No, he didn't get shot.
He got shot, Wack.
I'm telling you,
he got shot, dog. Where is he at?
He did get shot.
He said he ran. He said he ran out the. He ran out the building.
Okay, here goes.
How's a nigga faking getting shot?
Listen,
Who done popped that shot?
Do y'all remember Adam called him on our show, right? I never talked to the nigga, really know the nigga, right? And he talking. I said, "Yo, bro, are you gay or do you just act feminine?" I'm asking the nigga. You know, if I want to know what's happening, right? So he hung up. 2-3 days later, he in there with DW Flame, and I guess somebody that told him, "Man, Wack gonna keep digging. You might as well come out." So he comes out. D-Dub asked him something, and the nigga like, "Man, everybody knows I'm gay." That was his way of coming out. So I'm been doing the math. So in this situation, something happened. Woo, wah, wham. The nigga jumps up, unbuckles his pants, pull his pants down, and run out the building. I think that was his way of flashing everybody, bro.
And I find this absolutely hilarious coming from a guy who got exposed by his ex-escort girlfriend for wanting her to stick 3 fingers up his butt.
Oh my God.
And I was going to go put my clothes on. He was laid out on the bed, butt naked, on his stomach, yelling at people on Clubhouse.
Humbly and peacefully, I want you to answer this question. Did you not call my phone humbly and peacefully? I know it was you. 4 a.m. I answered the phone.
But Storm, this man told me, he said, "I want you to stick your fingers in my ass."
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be professional. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so he was like, "I want you to stick your fingers in my ass." And I was like, "But it's gonna be boo-boo coming out, you know?" And he was like, "That's what I want to see." He put the lube on my finger, and he was just like, he bent over, and he told me, he says, "Now stick 1 finger." So I put 1 finger. And then he was like, "Okay, now put 2 fingers." And I put 2 fingers. I thought that was it, but he was just like, "Okay, now slide 1 more finger." So now I'm like, yeah. So I'm like this, right? And he says, now turn your fingers around and make a come here motion.
Now, after a few back and forths over the internet with Adam22 and his crew basically claiming that Dejon Paul was lying, making all this stuff up, Dejon Paul would finally respond on IG with the post, basically a screenshot between him and Adam confirming that he was shot. This screenshot basically featured him and Adam going back and forth in the text message, alluding to something happening on that day.
Hey, dude, I'm really sorry about this. I was kind of in shock early and didn't know what to say. Just know we're on your side and thinking this was super effed up, fucked up, obviously, and we're gonna try to do everything by the book and make sure you're good and shit. I said I appreciate it. I know it was all an accident. Just want to get checked out and make sure everything's okay. Crazy day at the office. He said, insane. Let's keep it off the podcast and shit. I assume that means social media and shit, podcast and shit. Keep it off the media. And I don't want people to feel scared.
Now, Dejon's post would set the entire No Jumper podcast universe on fire, because what it essentially does is it confirms what the fans already knew about the situation, which only serves doom for the No Jumper crew. Need I remind y'all are caught in 4K clowning an openly homosexual dude who was a former employee of yours, claiming he was shot while on the clock working for you. Dejon Paul is probably licking his chops right now because the way he sees it, there's so many angles he can lit you guys up. I mean, just the sheer size of the legal shitstorm created by the No Jumper podcast crew is just truly incredible. So Adam chose the nuclear option, and he decided that Thanos snapped the entire No Jumper universe, except for a few core people.
I'm making some very big changes in terms of No Jumper. As of today, or as of tomorrow, the news, No Jumper news, it's over. The Monday show, the Wednesday show, and the Thursday show also are over. I've decided that I really want to focus No Jumper. So I will be continuing to do the Tuesday show with Lush and Brick Baby. I will continue to do as many interviews as possible. I'm going to have other people on the platform continuing to do interviews. Everybody from, Almighty, Sharp, Break. I just talked to all these guys, Flacco. We're still going to work together on doing interviews and, doing like repeat guest type interviews where I, have people on multiple times to talk about different things that are going on in the news, everything like that. But this decision has really been brought on primarily, I guess, as a business decision. Look at a lot of my peers. I look at Vlad. Obviously, Vlad has kind of always been like the OG as far as I'm concerned in terms of this whole YouTube content space. Hopefully you guys get it. Hopefully people won't go too crazy with spinning like weird narratives. And I just, I know people are going to run with all kinds of narratives and be like, Adam fired the whole staff. Adam is ending all the No Jumper content, whatever. That's not the case at all. This is just me kind of like doing what's right for myself in terms of my own peace of mind.
My boy really just wants to switch his strategy up. He wants to go from employing gangbangers to entrapping them using DJ Vlad style.
He copied my whole fucking flow! Word for word, bar for bar!
Now, while Adam was out there crashing out in an attempt to put out another uprising at No Jumper, we haven't really heard all that much from Dejon Paul. Matter of fact, since the Instagram post, he's been completely silent. That is until his recent appearance at the FMW podcast, where he would go on to give his tell-all about everything that happened on that fateful day.
You was for all of y'all.
You was shot. You know what I'm saying? So take us. You was shot. You was shot. So look.
I would say I was grazed by a bullet.
Okay.
That's shot.
Power of work. That's what people keep saying. It was like a hit is a hit. If it contacted you,
you got shot.
I say I got grazed by a bullet.
And then Dejon goes on to say, well, I wasn't actually really shot. I just got grazed. And in my opinion, I mean, I don't consider getting grazed shot. And it's like, come on, bro. Like, how stupid can you be? Right? Bro, it doesn't matter if you were grazed or not. You were still shot.
So on March 25th, it was a Monday. I went in to do No Jumper News. I believe it was Flacco, Sharp, and myself. We did the news. We walk out. You guys know the building, so I don't have to explain everything. I walk out. I always sit at that conference table. You guys know the table. Right? I always sit right there, eat right there, be on my phone, get some work done. And that's exactly what I was doing. Flacco left. Sharp left. Adam was in his office with the door closed. So there's no other personality. No one else was there. There was no other No Jumper personality that was there who could even speak to the incident. I'm the only personality, sans Adam, who's in his office with the door closed, that was there at the time.
Now, by this point in the video, I started to realize that Dejon Paul, maybe him going on this podcast and doing this little tell-all before an actual case has gone to the courts yet, is probably not a good idea. In fact, it's probably the biggest mistake he could possibly make at this point right now. Because the way I look at it, if suing was his end goal, why not wait to go to trial? Why just do a tell-all on another podcast where you could potentially just jeopardize the case for yourself? And newsflash, so if you could just call this a spoiler alert, he ends up actually doing exactly that in a completely boneheaded way.
Minding my business at the table and just allow bang, boom, or what have you. Goes off and like the gun went off under the table is what I'm assuming.
So a person was sitting next to you, which was a security guard.
He was at the table.
He was at the
security guard.
The security guard. Yeah. I mean, he didn't have a gun license.
The security guard.
Did you? Yeah, he doesn't.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that at the time.
Oh, but you know what I'm saying?
I know that now. I didn't know that. I didn't know that at the time.
Oh my God!
Don't you know that name?
But I swear, I didn't know that at the time. I was just sitting there minding my business. I looked up after the gun goes off and I feel the pain in my thigh.
Then eventually Dejon was asked if he actually saw the security guard cleaning the gun in his hand.
Did you see him cleaning the gun at that time?
I wasn't paying attention to him. I was on my phone. I knew he was there, and I just said, "What's up?" But I wasn't paying attention to what he was doing. I was on my phone handling something.
And then Dejon goes ahead and pulls the ultimate Nimrod move. By saying no, he didn't see the guy holding the gun at all. Matter of fact, he wasn't even paying attention. Like, oh my goodness, bro. I can't begin to tell you how big of a bonehead response that was. This moron literally admitted to not seeing a gun in the guard's hands while there were no other witnesses around in the room, and he himself wasn't paying attention. It's like, bro, are you dumb? If you got no witnesses there and you didn't see the gun in the guy's hand, how do we know what actually was what? So what we got now is, aside from his medical records, which isn't enough to prove anything because we got no bullet fragments and a few screenshots, Dejon's case is on shaky ground at best.
And then you heard a shot go off.
Heard it, felt it underneath the table, all of that.
Did you call 911 there?
I did not call 911.
So you got up and left and drove to the hospital?
No, Josh took me to the hospital.
Oh, Josh
took me to the hospital. Yes, I was taken to the hospital by Josh. And that's why the whole theory of me getting up, running, hopping, running out the building, all of that. What do you guys? But again, none of them were there. Josh, I didn't drive myself to the hospital. Josh drove me to the hospital and was there in the ER room. But when I got to the hospital, Adam texted me, and those are the text messages I showed.
Oh, the screenshot text message.
He texted me that while I was at the hospital. Talking about let's keep it off the podcast and all that shit.
Now, I'm not saying he doesn't have a case here. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't have enough to prove that something went on that day. I'm just saying, coupled with the current statements he's making right now, it's just going to be very, very difficult to prove that he was actually shot on set. You guys got to consider the facts here. There was no puncture. There were no bullet fragments. All we have is a grazing wound that you can match up to certain things, right? So the thing is, you need these other evidences to, pair these things up with to build a solid case, because now you got to prove that your injury aligns with the trajectory of the bullet. And since you don't have access to the No Jumper podcast no more, I'm pretty sure it'd be difficult for you to get in there and take pictures or grab evidences of bullet holes in the walls, right? Yet alone the unlicensed or the alleged unlicensed gun that's out there somewhere, right? If Adam was smart hanging out with a bunch of gangsters, I'm pretty sure those evidence don't exist anymore.
And yeah, I was just focused on making sure. They ran like 4 x-rays on me. I wanted to make sure because they found my coworkers found 2 bullet fragments underneath the table as well as the casing. So if you find a bullet fragments, I want to make sure there's no bullet fragment in my thigh. So they ran like 4 x-rays on me when I was at the hospital to make sure that there was nothing lodged into my thigh, because there was a graze mark and I just wanted to make sure, but there wasn't. Fortunately, there wasn't.
Finally, they get to the rumors about the $10,000 cash that was offered by Adam's crew to Dejon Paul in order to keep him, cooperative. Now, this rumor was, of course, started by Wacky Three Fingers, who basically alleged that Dejon declined the $10,000 because he was trying to squeeze Adam for much, much more money.
This man some muffins. So I want to see more about that. I want to hear more about this money. I want to hear more about this fucking money. You finna tell me about how much money he offered you.
You may be off camera, I will, but I'm not.
On camera they said 10,000. That was on camera. They said 10,000.
That's inaccurate.
You wouldn't take $10,000 or something.
I wouldn't take $10,000.
That's on camera.
That's inaccurate.
Yeah.
That's an inaccurate figure.
Right,
but
so,
I would not in real life. I wouldn't take $10,000.
We ain't got to talk about the money then.
But when we get into Dejon's explanation, it seems as though Adam offered him a lot more than $10,000, but Dejon still refused the cash. Then Dejon goes on to address Wack 100, basically being the main person responsible for spreading a bunch of rumors and misinformation against Dejon Paul throughout this entire saga.
When you first heard the news that they were saying like, oh, he's lying and everything like that, how did you personally feel?
That's not my first interaction with it. Really was. I believe it was Wack who was the first person to say on camera. He kind of confirmed the situation. He made LGBT jokes and Popeye jokes with it, but everybody was sending me that clip. They're like, hey, this clip was on No Jumper a few minutes ago, but they took it down and they sent me the clip of Wack saying something about my thigh and there's going to be a delay on the report cards. He's in the ICU. LGBT this, LGBT that. Go to Popeyes and get a thigh. So that was the first time someone spoke about it on the podcast that I saw. Maybe someone spoke about it.
But I'm Wack wasn't there. You said the only person that was there, you said Adam acknowledged that it happened.
At this point, it's really all not that surprising finding out this gossip gangster queen managed to find himself in the middle of another major internet kerfuffle. This clown is so good at creating drama, even the Kardashians should start taking notes. So eventually Adam would go on to respond, but not the Dejon. He responded to the podcast that Dejon was on. He basically goes on a dick measuring rant, bragging about all these influencers he managed to bag on his podcast.
Sometimes you'll find yourself at a crossroads in life. On one hand, you have like what I've been doing this week, which is, I did a whole podcast with Dave Portnoy. I did a whole podcast with Shane Gillis, one of the top comics in the country right now. I did a 4-hour podcast with the new generation of hosts on No Jumper that the fans are going absolutely nuts for. 130,000 views in 24 hours. And then like the other path would be interview every former No Jumper host, because that's the only opportunity that you have to get any kind of boost in views. So, 2 different paths. Pick one.
You're a victim. So here we are, folks. On one end, we got Dejon Paul, a guy who's got more plot twists than a daytime soap opera, stuck in the center of this wild No Jumper saga. And on the other hand, we've got Adam, who is so deep in hot water, he's practically running lap. And then there is Wack 100, or Wacky 3 Fingers, the No Jumper resident drama queen. My dude out here staring the pot like he trying to cook off a reality TV show. In the end, it just seems like everybody involved has their own skeletons rattling off in their closets. Whole thing getting messier than a high school cafeteria food fight. Either way, Dejon's got a questionable case, Adam out here scrambling like he juggling chainsaws, and Wack 100 out here adding fuel to every fire like he's auditioning for the role of chief arsonist in a soap opera. It's clear this story isn't gonna wrap up in a nice, neat little bow anytime soon, with all the mudslinging and finger pointing and the circus of accusations. I'm just waiting till Netflix pops out with a series on this entire madness. Maybe we'll finally get to the truth, or at least a version of it. But hey, this is just the latest chapter in the ongoing saga that is No Jumper, where drama is always on the menu and the tea is never served cold. So keep your popcorn ready, folks, because this roller coaster ain't slowing down anytime soon. Alright, chat, that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Who do you guys think is telling the truth? Is Dejon the actual victim here, or is this another classic case of internet drama spiraling out of control? Either way, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button, and the bell notification so you don't miss out on our next episode of this never-ending drama next time on Duke the Don's Reaction Corner. Till then, I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. Peace.